In this video, we'll start doing some color grading to our HDR shots. All right, so basically the HDR, we just bracketed them. So we have, let's start with this one here. So these are all going to be merged into the same image. And you can see we have different exposure. It looks like she moves slightly. But let's come in here and just start to do some quick adjustments on this. Actually, I'm going to go back to one that we already did. We did some with both of them. I'm going to hit Control-Shift-C to copy those adjustments and then come back in Control-Shift-V and paste to see what that looks like. It's a little green. So let's actually, did we adjust that? No, we didn't. Is it pulling under the teal? It looks like it's pulling under teal, not green. Or the light bluish. There, maybe a little bit. So we can see what's affecting. Maybe a little bit there. Okay. So with this, then I'll hit Control-Shift-C, Control-Shift-V. Pull this up some. Go. This is going to be a darker side. Just fine. Pull some of those darks from that. A little bit there, but sky still might be too blown out. That's fine if it is. I'll focus more on just some of her there. Okay. So we have these three together. So now let's come in and actually, let's walk through the process with this first one here just to see if that's going to work for us. So we can take these, right click and then merge to HDR and then allow it to try to, I'm not going to do an auto adjust. We just basically did that. But it's going to try to do an auto align, which you notice because she moved just a little bit, just slight movements. Of course, you know, that's perfectly normal. Is going to happen. And then it's going to try to adjust that. And we can see how well this works. So let's give this just a little bit for Capture One to crank on this. And Photoshop has the ability to merge as well, of course, which we could do in there. It's another option. So you can see some of the settings here. I did a shutter speed bracket. So this is 1/100th, 1/400th, and 1/200. So that's the bracketing that I did there to get the shot. But actually, so this is sitting here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pause the video and then come back once this is done thinking about this merge. All right, so we have our merged image. This is the HDR here. And as you can see, I'm not real happy with the way that turned out. And sometimes that's how that happens. You see it tried to align, but it gave those multiple pieces there. So no, that's not going to work. Let's go ahead. And for this, I'm going to throw it into the trash. All right. So instead, what we can do, let's take these and we will edit these in Photoshop. We'll create these TIFF files, edit them in Photoshop, and then see if Photoshop's merge will do a better job. So this will take a second to create those. And again, I'll just go ahead and pause the video while it's exporting these and then come back once it's done. All right, so it's done editing these, and normally it would just pop them up. We can open them, but you can see I've got this issue with the TIFF files. This is just something on my computer where when it tries to open multiple files, it only opens one of them. So we can work around that, but it's going to launch Photoshop here and open one of those up, and then we'll pull the other two in to merge inside of Photoshop. All right, so we've got, as you can see, it only opened up one of them. So what is that? 4350. So we still need this one. Even though I tell it, it's going to do it every time. And every time I update Photoshop or Capture One, it pops back again. I probably need to do a reformat on my computer, but that's one of those things. It just takes the time to do. So now we need the other one. Open with. So you want to open with and not edit with. Edit with will create another variant, another TIFF. I just want to open the one that exists already. All right. So we have these here. With all of these, let's come into File, Automate, Merge to HDR. We're going to add the open files. We're going to try to automatically align, similar to what Capture One did, basically. And then let's have Photoshop crank through this. Again, this might take a little bit, so I'll pause the video while Photoshop thinks on this and merges these together. So here we can see it's still not doing a great job aligning. We can remove the ghosts here in Photoshop, so we have a little bit more control over what we get. And let me zoom in just a little bit here. So pulling this back, I don't know. We're probably not. Yeah, I don't like that. We're not going to get any of that back in the sky. It may just have been too blown out to get that. Even bracketing, it may not work. So, all right. Well, we went through the process. It looks like, and sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes it's not going to work. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel all that. So we're not going to be doing these merges, it looks like. So basically what we can do, let's go ahead and close out of Photoshop. So now that we did that for one of them, we know that these others in the same place are probably not going to work. These probably aren't. So let's go through the color grading process for these, since we kind of skipped over that mostly for the rest of them. So we'll do the color grading process and basically treat these like any of the other images while we're editing. So we'll wrap this video up here and see you in the next one where we'll do the color grading for these images.